Did I just discover a new opening against the Ruy Lopez? I don't know. So last time I showed you guys another way to beat the Ruy Lopez after e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and bishop b5. Instead of playing the retreat variation, which is just a way of asking white to go straight into the endgame, you can also try knight a5. Actually, knight a5 has a name. It's called the Pollock defense. And the idea with knight a5 is we are kind of preventing white from playing bishop c4, so they won't have that option even if they take the pawn on e5, which they rarely do. You can still go queen g5, indirectly attacking the bishop. The right move to play here is pawn to d4, after which we just go ahead and take on g2. By doing so, we are just going straight into the endgame. If queen f3, we take, and after knight takes, we go c6. See, white can't play bishop c4, so they have to undevelop their bishop somehow. And then immediately we go pawn to d5. Point is, if they advance their pawn, you can tell from the eval bar, the game is back to equal terms. Position is 0.3, as if we are just starting the game. And this is technically a mini endgame, if you may. Without queens, black is not worse, and this is not even a gambit. So your plan will be to go knight e7, bishop f5 to exchange bishops, and just play your usual endgame without even having to worry about anything. I mean, let's try this. Knight e7, preparing for bishop f5. What can they do? Say bishop d attacking the knight. You know, we can play bishop g4 if we want to. This will be kind of a counter attack. Or knight c4. Knight c4 is actually a move you should play here. We're going to win something. Bishop takes is not a wise decision. It just kind of gives us the ball. And then we have bishop f5, we have the bishop pair. We can put our knight on d5 anytime we feel like, and technically speaking, this is black's game. There are no real threats coming our way. And just going back, you see, white doesn't really have to take the knight because that will just put them in a worse position. You can put this on Stockfish if you don't trust me, but it kind of works. You can tell by the eval bar, black is doing better, so they have to play something like bishop c3 or bishop c1 and develop their pieces. Then we go bishop g4, and after something like knight d2, just an example, we can even do this, knight takes. After knight takes, we castle long or play knight g6. I mean, after developing the light squared bishop, you want to put your knight on g6. If pawn to h3, you just maintain that. And from here, to be honest, just find a way to secure your king somehow. Put it on c8, maybe centralize your rook and start exchanging pieces, but not pawns. By pieces, we mean the knights, the bishops, and the rooks. You keep these pawns for the end game. That's the secret, you guys. So you will start playing with your king in the end game. They can't castle long. Maybe they'll try pawn to f3 here, trying to castle long, but you have bishop e7. If they achieve that, you can even castle short. Remember, your pawn structure is better than white's. So all you have to start looking for are piece trades, exchanges of these bigger pieces. You leave your pawns like this for the end game. If possible, don't even move your pawns, except for pawn breaks like pawn to f6, because you want to involve your rooks into the game. So this is just a simple way of neutralizing the power of the Ruy Lopez by going straight into the end game, not worrying about any opening theory. Another questionable opening that you're going to see is this one: e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and instead of bishop b5, say white plays bishop c4. I kind of played in the style of the Evans gambit. Should we call this the reversed Evans gambit? I don't know, but I have a feeling this is very dubious. You will see what happened in the live game. I played pawn to b5 and white took. So I just wanted to kind of force this idea of going back to the Ruy Lopez. Stockfish says, I can play knight ge7 here, but I played knight a5. Things don't really look great, but after knight takes e5, you can tell by the eval bar, black starts getting momentum. In that, we can now play queen g5, same idea, going back to the retreat variation of the Ruy Lopez with our knight on a5, indirectly attacking that bishop. But there's this little trap I want you guys to always remember. You can actually play knight b7 in this position, and just in case white plays pawn to d3, you have pawn to c6. And if bishop a4, which is a natural move, or bishop c4, now you have queen a5 check, and you're going to win the knight, kind of the Mortimer trap. This is too risky. Yes, I admit, but maybe not against all human beings. So these are kinds of dirty tricks you can try in Blitz, Rapid, Bullet, but in classical chess, of course, don't sacrifice your pawn on b5 like this, but I still believe in the retreat variation against bishop b5. In classical, you can still try knight b8, because again, this will only, go straight into the end game, like queen takes, queen f3. This is the normal retreat variation where we don't play knight a5, remember? After queen takes, they always play knight takes. Again, c6. Well, this time, white can play bishop c4. That's the only difference you can see. So we can't play pawn to d5, and that's why I started with the knight a5 variation to prevent bishop c4. So because you can't play pawn to d5, this is where you can play knight f6, attacking that. If pawn to e5, now that's when you can play pawn to d5. Kind of the normal Italian stuff, if you may. Point is, if they take on f6, you take their light squared bishop and you remain with a bishop pair. This trade is always good for black, as I always say. By the way, we have equal number of material, 6 versus 6 pawns. White has isolated pawns just like us, and it's just a matter of holding on to our c pawn on c4, and this can be anyone's game with perfect play, to be honest. Just one of those openings where the best tactician has to win. It's nothing to do with an opening, it's everything to do with your endgame skills. With this being said, I think it is time for us to walk the talk by trying out these ideas. Who knows, maybe I already played the games and I'm just going to include them towards the end. And just a friendly reminder, all of my courses are still on promotion. Yes, you still get 50% discount on all of them. That is, you will get a discount of 50% when you purchase any of my courses. Right. e5. As usual, what else do I know? This is the Ruy Lopez. Let me play another version of the retreat variation to surprise my opponent. Instead of playing knight back to b8, this time we go knight a5. The idea is to prevent bishop c4 for good. By the way, for those who are not familiar with this, if knight takes happened, I was simply going to play queen g5, attacking the knight and indirectly attacking that bishop. It's just an interesting line, sideline to play against Ruy Lopez. Now I can play, okay, the thing is, I would love to play pawn to d6. Now I'm afraid white is going to play pawn to b4, trapping my knight. So let's go, for now, let's play, we have to play queen c7 followed by pawn to b5. So I'm not saying this is the main refutation against Ruy Lopez, but all I'm saying is it works, especially against unprepared opponents. People don't have time to study most of these sidelines. We attack the bishop, knight takes. I should have taken with the queen, maybe. Again, if pawn to b4, I have that. I think for now, let's play this move. Okay, so there's an overload here. I should have retreated my knight earlier. Let's attack the pawn on e4 indirectly. Castle shot. Now my rook is well protected. And I can attack the pawn on b2. Take like that. Take the pawn on e4. This is what I intended to do. Should I take? Yeah. So far so good, but I'm not really impressed with my gameplay for now. Not really impressed with my gameplay. I'm behind on time. Ah, another blunder. Oh, I'm going to win the rook. Perfect. Free rook. Queen back. Going to exchange. Whenever you have an advantage, you always want to exchange queens, exchange pieces, keep pawns for the end game. That's how we play chess. This is game over. I don't know why my opponent is not resigning. Let's wait for them to resign. Okay, now let me do this stupid thing. Go to h4. I also take. My opponent left the game, so I can claim victory in less than 4 seconds. Tap. Okay, let's do this again. You know what? This time I'm going to force my opponent to take on b5 to play the Ruy Lopez. I just want to see what will happen. And then play knight a5. The idea is still the same, to play queen g5 if knight takes. Now let me do one more trick, you guys. Knight back to b7. So for those who don't know what I just did there, just in case white took the pawn, I was simply going to attack the bishop, and there was a high probability that I was going to win the knight like that. So that was just a trick I did there. That's why they castled short. So now I can play pawn to d6. I've never seen this before, so I'm just experimenting at this point. This is a gambit, by the way. h6 to stop knight g5 or bishop g5. Now I'm free to play knight f6, bishop e7, and castle short. So bishop e7, castle short is coming. Just a way of slowing down white's development. As you can see, this is when they are developing their pieces. So the next move should be queen c7. And I'm tempted to play knight h5, but let's go queen c7 first. The idea is to go knight c5, knight that. First, move away from the face of the last squad bishop. Now I can even play pawn to g6 now, like g6, and defend my h6 pawn like that. Yep. So normal knight f5 for now. Now I can attack the pawn on d3. I've never seen this gambit before, you guys. Never in my life. The whole idea is to put my knight here and shift it to that side of the board. Don't know if I can attack the rook. Okay, for now, let's do this. Sometimes all you need to do is to wait. Just wait for the right time to strike. Now we can exchange bishops. If I may, I think I'll just take with my f-pawn to pave the way for my rook. Yep. Just a strategic way of playing chess. nothing much. And now I'm dreaming of winning this night. Let's create a battery. Like I said, I'm just experimenting. I've never played like this before. Wow. So there's that. Can I play that move? Or probably sacrifice my thing here. So now time to win this night. How? Like this. So at worst, this is going to be a draw, if you think about it. Looks like my opponent knows what they are doing. They are able to read my mind. So now it is time for me to be fast. I have check for future reference. I have 20 seconds, but I have a feeling I'm going to win this game. Either ways, check. Yeah, this is literally checkmate with 15 seconds on the clock. I just discovered a new opening against Ruy Lopez. Oh, I don't know how I can call that. I sacrificed a pawn on b5, remember? To transform this game back to some kind of the Ruy Lopez. I'm not convinced. I'm not sure if that was a great opening, but I mean, this is just one of those examples to show you that chess is not just about openings, but all about how you come up with creative plans in the middle game. Right. Now, check this out, you guys. If you want to learn more about these kinds of tricks or similar opening ideas like the ones I just shared, you can watch this video that has popped up on the top left. Another video that I highly recommend you check out to skyrocket your rating is this one that has popped up on the top right. But if you love Gambit videos, you can check out the video that has popped up on the bottom left. And if you are a lover of chess traps like myself, feel free to click on the video that has popped up on the bottom right.